Welcome to Headstones and Microphones, where we use AI to step into the past through a researched, first-person simulation of history's most interesting people. I am your host, Calvin. While we've added some creative storytelling, our goal is to inspire your own study of these fascinating lives. Now, let's meet our guest. I am so excited for today's guest. His voice is the soundtrack to some of the most emotional moments in history. For those who may somehow not know who are you?
I am Benny King, a singer and a songwriter who just love to bring people together through song.
It's an honor, Ben, truly. Let's go back to the beginning. When and where were you born?
I was born on September 28, 1938 in a beautiful place called Henderson, North Carolina.
And what was your given name at birth?
My birth name was Benjamin Earl Nelson.
Is there a story behind your birth name?
Well, I eventually took the name King for my solo career because I wanted something that felt strong and stood out on a record sleeve, but I never forgot where Benjamin Nelson came from.
What was your hometown like growing up?
Henderson was a small, tight-knit southern town. It was full of family and church, but when I was 9, we moved up to Harlem in New York City. That was a big change. Harlem was vibrating with energy, music on every corner, and people everywhere. It was where I really grew up.
What was your family life like?
My family was hardworking and very supportive. My father ran a restaurant in Harlem, and that's where I spent a lot of my time. It was a place of community. We didn't have much, but we had each other in the church choir, which was my first real stage.
What kind of kid were you?
I was a bit quiet, always observing. I loved to sing, but I wasn't necessarily looking for the spotlight right away. I was the kind of kid who was happy to harmonize in the background until I found my own rhythm.
What did you dream of becoming as a child?
I thought I might work in my father's restaurant or maybe find a steady job in the city. Singing was something I did for joy, but I didn't realize at first that it could be a life path.
What were some of your favorite activities in school?
Definitely the music programs. I was part of a doo-wop group called the 4Bs. We would sing on street corners and in school hallways. That's where I learned how to blend my voice with others.
What was your first job?
Working in my father's luncheonette in Harlem. I washed dishes, served coffee, and sang while I worked. Sometimes the customers would tip me just to hear a song.
Was there a moment where you realized you were different from everyone else?
It was when I realized people actually wanted to hear me sing lead. I was always happy being in a group, but when I joined the Five Crowns and eventually the Drifters, I realized my voice had a specific way of touching people that I hadn't fully understood before.
What's a decision that changed everything for you, but felt small at the time?
Deciding to stay in New York when my family moved back south for a bit. If I hadn't stayed in Harlem, I never would have been singing at the Apollo when the manager of the Drifters heard me.
What was your biggest break?
Joining the Drifters, we recorded There Goes My Baby, and it changed the sound of soul music. It was the first time strings were really used like that in R&B. Suddenly, we were at the top of the charts.
What were your biggest struggles before success?
Just trying to make ends meet while pursuing music. New York is a tough city if you don't have a steady paycheck. You have to have a lot of faith that the next gig is coming.
Did you ever consider quitting?
Not really quitting music, but there were times when the business side was so frustrating that I thought about just going back to the restaurant business, but the songs kept coming, so I kept singing.
Were there any specific daily habits or routines that you feel are essential to your success?
Always keeping a humble spirit. I believed in treating everyone with kindness, from the stagehands to the fans. I think that helped me stay grounded when things got big.
What was your life like before fame?
It was simple. I was a young man in Harlem, hanging out with friends, working for my dad, and dreaming about the girls in the neighborhood. It was a good, honest life.
Did fame bring happiness?
It brought the ability to provide for my family, which made me very happy. But the real happiness was always in the music itself. That feeling when a song like Stand By Me finally clicks in the studio.
What misconceptions do people have about you?
People often thought I was this very serious, somber man because of the ballads I sang, but I loved to laugh and have a good time. I wasn't always the lonely walker from the songs.
Who had the biggest influence on your life?
My father for his work ethic and the great Sam Cooke. Sam showed me that a singer could be elegant, soulful, and a businessman all at once.
What were you working on in your career before you passed away?
I was still touring. I loved performing for fans in the UK and all over Europe. I was also very involved in my Stand By Me Foundation, which helped kids with their education.
When and where did you pass away?
I passed away on April 30th, 2015 in Hackensack, New Jersey.
What's a random fact about you most people have never heard?
I actually didn't think Stand By Me was going to be a hit for me. I originally wrote it with Jerry Lieber and Mike Stoller for the Drifters, but they passed on it. I recorded it at the end of a session because we had some extra time.
What was your favorite food?
You can't beat good Southern soul food, fried chicken, collard greens, and cornbread. That takes me right back to my roots.
Did you have any known rivalries?
No, I wasn't a man for rivalries. I felt like there was room for everyone. I had nothing but love for the other singers of my era.
What's your funniest behind the scenes moment?
Early on with the Drifters, we were so poor we'd share one suit. We'd have to rotate who wore the jacket based on who was singing lead that night. We made it work though.
What was the most outlandish purchase you made?
I wasn't a very flashy spender, but I did love a nice, well-tailored suit. I felt that if people paid to see you, you should look like you respected the stage.
What advice would you give people chasing success?
Stay true to yourself and be kind to the people you meet on the way up. And most importantly, find a song that you believe in with all your heart.
Ben, this has been such a joy. Do you have any closing remarks about the interview or the stories you shared that you would like to share with the listeners before we sign off?
I just want to say thank you for remembering the music. It warms my heart to know that people are still standing by me and my songs after all these years. Keep love in your heart and thank you for having me, Calvin.
Thank you so much, Ben. That was a truly soulful conversation. And that wraps up another conversation from Beyond the Grave. Thanks for joining us on the Headstones and Microphones podcast. Remember, legends may die, but their stories never do. Please help spread the word by sharing and following the pod.